Hey dragons! I know it's been a while, but I thought with the extra weeks of spring break, this might be a good time to start the YouTube channel back up. I know everybody's really excited for some more vacation time, and trust me, I am too, but I thought that maybe with all this extra time, now would be a good time for us to do some kind of do-it-at-home experiments and stuff like that. I did also want to talk to those of you who are still my students and those of you who were my students but now are too big and grown up to be my students anymore, and those of you who just might be a little bit worried. I know that it's a little bit scary to have school closing down and people staying home from work and all that good stuff, but I want you to know that it's going to be okay. This is just a sickness. And yes, it's a little bit more serious than the sicknesses we're used to, but that's why we're doing all these things. That's why we're staying home, why we're not having big parties and big sports events and stuff like that, is to keep us safe. Remember, we've talked about before how germs spread when we sneeze or we cough. We get those germs out of our bodies, but that puts them in the air and puts them around other people. Well, when we all get together in a really big group for something like a sporting event or a concert or school, that's a lot more people that are exposed to those germs. So that's the reason we're doing this stuff, is to keep ourselves safe. And our next video, which will come out in a couple days, will be about the very most important thing that you can do to keep yourself safe, which is wash your hands. I know, you've heard it before. And that's why I'm always saying no hand sanitizer allowed in my classroom, because in my classroom you need to wash your hands. That's because washing your hands is the best way to keep yourself safe from any diseases, much less the one going around now. So our next video will be all about that, and with all this crazy rainy weather, and I know everybody's stuck inside and not really loving being stuck inside, trust me, me too. But I have a really cool DIY experiment that you can do at home with recycled materials, so look forward to that in our next video too. But in this video, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we would be doing right now if we had school. So all my grade levels are starting on their final projects, and I want to tell you about those, and I'll go through them in the order my day goes. So let's start with second grade. I have second grade first thing in the morning. So my second graders, your final project this year is that there has been an oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, and it is our job to clean it up. So over the rest of this extended break, I want you to be thinking about what research questions could I be asking myself that would make me better at cleaning up an oil spill? What do I need to know to be good at cleaning up an oil spill? Because I've got some ideas, but I want to know what you think too. All right, after second grade, I have third grade. Now, third grade got to choose their own final project. So this is a problem that you guys came up with, you guys voted on, and I do have the final vote. Are you ready? Drum roll. It's that there is too much plastic in our community. And I think you are absolutely right about that, but we've got to figure out what we need to research to be able to solve that problem and what our solution could look like for that. So I want you guys to be thinking about, what do we need to know to solve the problem of there being too much plastic in our community? Well, after third grade, I have first grade. Now, first grade, this is really cool. We have got some bullfrog tadpoles coming to Johnson. I'm really excited, but I have kind of a problem. I don't have a habitat for them. I have nowhere for these bullfrog tadpoles to live. They've got to be in one habitat their entire lives, and I don't know what to put them in. That's your job. You're going to figure out what a bullfrog habitat should be like. Now remember, when we get them, they're going to be tadpoles, but for the rest of their life, they're going to be fully grown frogs. So we got to think about what both those might need, and where in our school could we put this habitat? Where will the temperature be right? And where will it be safe from little hands that might want to mess with our bullfrogs? So all of those are important things to think about. And if you can think of any other research questions, I would love to hear them. Then I have lunch. But after lunch, I have fourth grade. Fourth grade, I'm so excited for your final project. You're going to love it. There are two parts to fourth grade's final project. The first part is that you need to design a blueprint for a zoo. Now, I know you're sitting there going, a blueprint? We've never designed a blueprint, but you have. Your perimeter projects that you did in math, those are blueprints. So a blueprint is a design of kind of the walls and doors and windows of a building or a space, but not what the inside of those rooms will look like. Your zoo needs to have spaces for 6 different animal habitats. You won't be designing the habitats, just designing the spaces the habitats will go into. You'll need a space for a lion, a zebra, a boa constrictor, a manta ray, a penguin, and an owl. I know, kind of a weird group of animals. So think about which ones might need to be together and which ones might not need to be together, and where the paths will go and how much space between each animal, and kind of what you want the shape of your zoo to look like. We'll design that blueprint when we get back, and then we'll start the second part of your project, which is a Sphero robot guided tour of your zoo. Now that's going to involve a lot of programming and a lot of cool fun stuff, and maybe we'll talk about that in a later video. But for now, I want you to focus on the design of that zoo, because we need that before kindergarten can start their project. Kindergarten. Once the 4th graders have created their blueprint, the class that comes on the same day your class comes to the lab, that will be the zoo you are designing habitats for. Each table will get one of those 6 animals, and they will research it and create a habitat for that animal. Once again, our animals are lions, zebras, boa constrictors, manta rays, penguins, and owls. So your table will be researching one of those animals and creating a habitat for it. So what I want you to be thinking about, kindergarten, is which animal do you want to research? Pick, I would say, at least 2 favorites, just in case somebody picks your first favorite before you do. Well, I hope you guys enjoy thinking about all that stuff, and I'll see you soon for our next video. We'll be talking again about hand washing and a really cool rainy day experiment that you can do at home. We might even be able to get a special guest. Well, I'll see you soon, dragons. Don't worry, we're gonna be fine. Bye, dragons.